morning, Denise. How are you?
Morning, morning, morning.
I'm just going to wait just a second for everyone to get their little notifications. And whilst that is happening, I'm going to start adding some topics. I'm usually pretty rubbish at this stuff. Not very good at multitasking. That's what it must be. Okay. Well, we're not storytelling today. Do you ever do this, Denise, with your rooms? Do you go and add all the little topicy filter things at the top?
No.
No, I don't really. I'll do it because,
Yeah, do it.
why not?
But
Why not?
no, don't even think about it.
No, I keep forgetting. I need to get better at those things. So, okay, good morning, everybody. Really nice to be back here. Sarah has just come into the room. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, my lovelies. How are you this morning?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm really good, actually. I've had a really good start to the morning, and I feel quite motivated today.
Good. That's what we
Which
like
is
to
really
hear.
good. Yeah, definitely. And it's the end of the month, isn't it? So it's like putting that to bed and then like looking ahead for the following month. So when I saw this topic, I thought, oh, I must jump in and have a chat with you guys about it because it's quite passionate to me. This.
Oh, I'm really interested actually to genuinely know what your stance on this one is, Sarah, because I know that one of your roles in one of your businesses is that you help salon owners through the apprenticeship scheme journey, and that comes with all sorts of support when it comes to their teams and staff. And so this is where my head's at with this room. Okay, so let me just go with it. So a little bit like last week, we held an amazing room about storytelling and the power of storytelling. Actually, stop. Before I go any further, I've got to tell you something quite exciting, and hopefully any of you guys in the audience, if you would like to be a part of this new feature, then please just hit the back channel. You know, the little looks like a paper plane on the right of your screen, bottom right. So last week we held a room called the power of storytelling, and how storytelling can, you know, grow your business, how you can leverage through the power of storytelling. And I really didn't know how the room was going to go. The room was bloody amazing. We went a little bit over. We try to not go over now because, you know, we're all busy business owners. We value your time. We value our own time. You know, we've all got businesses to run and things to do. So we only went over, I think, about 10 minutes. But that got me thinking. I came away from that room and we've had a good, decent amount of replays as well on the room. And that got me thinking, maybe we should revisit something that I did over in one of my other beauty companies, the Creative Beauty Group. For 5 years, we ran a feature called Salon in the Spotlight, which was more about show us photos of your salon and what it's like to be a salon owner. But it was very visual. It was a Facebook initiative way before the pandemic, way before Beauty Boss Company, way before, you know, this platform. But the power of storytelling room last week made me think maybe we should make it an audio room feature on Clubhouse. So, like an audio version, if you like, from the visual one that we were doing for 5 years at the Creative Beauty Group, and get to hear your stories. So, we have just announced a new weekly room called Salon Stories. Or was it Salon Success Stories? Actually, no, I think we decided to drop the word success because the idea was to be as open as possible, you know, show the vulnerability of being a salon owner, show that it's not all I'm smashing it, I'm smashing it, I'm smashing it. It's because it's not. It really isn't. I mean, take it from me, who knows? And everybody else probably in this room agreeing. It comes with highs, it comes with lows, it comes with growing pains, it comes with why the hell did I decide to do this when I could go and work for someone else and get a cushy little salary a month, you know, a year, and all the holiday leave and the less of the hassle that comes with staff and clients and, you know, all the skills that we didn't get taught at beauty school. We go through all of these things, don't we, as salon owners? But the fact that you guys are here still right now, you are pretty much through, I would say. And so I would just love the opportunity to give you guys the voice, your voice to share your journey, because I am no longer a salon owner. I was a salon owner for almost 10 years before I scaled and sold out. And that salon today is still a thriving salon by, you know, owned by somebody else, which I smile at when I drive past it every time I drive past it. But I'd really love to hear from you guys and about your salon stories, your successes, your failures, and everything in between. Anyway, that was just a little mention. Back to today's room. I really, like last week, I've just thrown this topic out there. I have no idea how it's going to go. I don't know whether you agree with this, whether you don't agree with this. And actually, I do want to start the room by saying there is no right or wrong. I don't think there's a right or a wrong as to whether a business of our kind should or should not be open on a Saturday. But I definitely think with the way the world has, or what we've been through on a global scale, for the last, however, I don't know, 2 years. I don't even know how long it's been, actually. It's all a big blur. But I definitely think it's a conversation to have. So before I, go in with my penny's worth, let's start with you, Denise, while I ping some people in the room. So, Denise, what's your take? Do you think salons should stay open on Saturdays, or do you think they should maybe explore closing on a Saturday?
I think, much like all of these conversations, it's completely and utterly about your ideal client journey. So not necessarily thinking about if you're in the position that a lot of salons are in for a lot of the time that they are scaling their business, whereby they will their ideal client is anyone who will pay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about once you're in a position whereby you know exactly who you want to serve, you know exactly who you are, you know exactly how much they spend, you know exactly what treatments they want. You're in that mind space where you are scaling your business, you're in control, all of that side. When you're at that stage and you know everything about your ideal client, you know exactly when they want to come in. And if they aren't the type of people that want to spend half of Saturday or all day Saturday in the salon, getting all their bits and bobs done, if you know they are the type of person who will come in during the week, late at night, whatever, once you know all of that, then plan the times of the opening of the salon. But if you know that your person is the type of person who, has their kids Monday to Friday while their husband has a job, or the other way round, a stay-at-home dad who has the kids, morning and evening while their wife has a successful job. If they're that type of person and then they want to spend hours in the salon at the weekend being pampered, then you have to be open on the weekend. So spend a lot of time understanding exactly who it is that you want to serve, exactly what services you want to provide to those people, and exactly how they live their lives. Then plan your opening times accordingly, and then have the correct staff who will be willing to work those hours accordingly. Once you've nailed all of that, all of the other bits fall into place a lot better. But start with the ideal client journey. That is the thing you have to nail quickly and very, very thoroughly.
Interesting. Okay. Well, this is what I mean about these rooms. I didn't think the conversation was going to even touch on clients. I mean, of course, clients are vital to run a business, right? But I never thought we would start from that angle. So thank you, Denise. And I know we're all very passionate, aren't we, about our customers. We know that it's, a true relationship with a customer can really retain them in our business for many, many years. We know that we have to serve on a level that we were never trained at college or school. We know that the word selling as a beauty or hair professional, gives us the EBGBs, but actually you're not supposed to be selling anyway. You're supposed to be serving. And yes, that comes with an education. But actually, the client journey, which is very, very, very important for a lot of moving parts of running a successful business, for me, my angle will not be about the clients. That's all I'm going to say. Well, let's move over to Sarah. So what do you think, Sarah?
Well, I'm a bit of both. So I listened to Denise, but I think Denise is absolutely right. I think before you decide to close on Saturdays, you've really got to look at your individual model of a business and decide who your clients are, definitely, but also who your staff are. I mean, like, for instance, in my salon, I know certain people don't want to work at weekends, and there's certain people that do want to work at weekends because it's more convenient for them. So it's a bit of a combination. So we give them the autonomy to do that, which has worked out quite well for us. But what I will say, you need to also look at your numbers, because I think what tends to happen is someone comes up with an idea, let's all close Saturdays, and then we go all in and close Saturdays, but it has to be planned like anything else. And I think there's also what your vision is, what you want for yourself. I mean, for me, one of the things at one time, my business partner said to me, oh, well, should we open Sundays? And I thought, oh God, I don't want any, because I mean, even though I don't work physically in my salon, if there's any problems, they're going to be the first ones that they phone me. So for me, it was like, no, that is definitely my day for me, that I don't want anyone ringing me on a Saturday morning saying, I don't know, that the key won't work in the door, or the till's gone down. Do you know what I mean? The what's it? The contact list has gone down, or something like that. I just don't want to hear all that. So I think it's got to be a combination of everything. What you actually physically want yourself long term, what your staff want, and your clients, and your numbers. And the numbers are probably the most important thing, because ultimately without a profit, and I think when you're building clients, I mean, if all the salons closed on a Saturday, then there's an opportunity there, isn't there, for somebody to be open on a Saturday to get the clients that want to come in on a Saturday. So I think there's so much combination of what you need, and I think you need to do your research really well, first with your clients, also with your staff, and also your numbers, and then you can come up with a decision on what to go with that. And I always think as well to get some outside eyes rather than just in your head. So if you've got someone you can actually speak to about the impacts of that, even if it's your accountant, about the figures, because I know figures sometimes freak people out. They did me, but you need to be able to understand it. That's what I'm saying, and then you make your decision from that. But I'll be interested to hear about people that have done it and and it's worked for them, what they did before they did it, because that'd be really interesting. But for me, I think it's got to be a combination of everything. And I don't think we automatically think that people don't want to work Saturdays, but I know when I put that to my staff, there are certain people that, I mean, I've got a lady, although saying that she is self-employed, she comes in on a Sunday because she does teeth whitening, so that's her thing on a Sunday. And the only reason she comes in on a Sunday, but we had the agreement right from the beginning that if I'm not getting involved in it, because I don't want to work Sundays. Do you know what I mean? And she's been brilliant. She goes in, she's got keys, etc. But if you've got people actually physically working for you, then maybe that's not, the case. But yeah, so that's my slant on it. But I'd love to hear from the audience what people think, and what their things are.
Yeah, definitely. Really good, valuable points there as well. And I'm like, just going back to Denise, I wasn't what's the word? I wasn't disregarding the clients. Of course, we need clients. We have no business without our clients. But I just didn't see like I say, there wasn't any true, real depth in what I was thinking with this particular room. I thought this room topic, I thought I'd throw it in there. And I've seen a couple of salons, kind of flirt around the idea. Not anytime soon, but maybe since last April, when everyone was allowed to come back to work. But here is where like I said at the beginning of this room, there is no right or wrong. This is just my little opinion. This is just our opinions, and we all run our businesses very differently. Now, I am no longer a salon owner. Like I say, I sold up just before it hit 10 years, and I had a salon. In fact, I was selling it when Facebook was invented, within the first month of Facebook. So anyway, a long, long time ago, before social media. Not that really means much nowadays, but here's what I'm thinking. I'm just seeing, with the skills shortage, with the increase of staff from salons leaving salons to go it alone, to go solo, to give it a go on running their own business. And of course they've got every right to do that. Of course they've got the right to grow their wings and see what it would like to be. Maybe it was one of their standing dreams, and they're finally turning it into a reality. Good on them. But as a business, as a salon owner, when we onboard a member of staff, it's not just a case of going, okay, you're employed now, this is where this lives, this is what we do here, best of luck. We don't do that. We know we have to train and train and train our staff to understand our salon culture, to understand our unique positioning, to understand our core values, and everything, to how our certain clients like their particular coffees made a certain way. I mean, we go deep because we want deep connections with our clients, because that is how they stay. or one of the reasons why they stay anyway. But my angle on this whole should salons open on Saturdays was more about the angle of retaining our staff, kind of making, you know, our salon teams the forefront of our business focus. And so I'm not saying that, like I say, and I keep repeating myself because I'm not a salon owner anymore. And I've said that 3 times now, because I really hope people in a minute will raise their hand in the audience that are still salon owners, that do run teams. I run teams. I've got multiple teams with my multiple companies, but I'm not a salon based business anymore. So it's a different type of running my teams. I'm just thinking from a salon's perspective, when girls and men, when staff are leaving salons, and then we know the effort and the time and the mental energy and the emotional energy actually that go into building our teams, especially if we're a salon owner that don't want to work in our salons anymore. We don't want to be in the salon anymore. We want to have a successful salon, whether we are there or not there, because it's not about us. It's about the experience we give to our clients through our teams, through the teams that we have gone and, you know, trained. I just wonder if we were to close Saturdays, and going back to what Sarah said, we would absolutely have to crunch the numbers. We would absolutely have to see actually how much Saturday trade really contributes to my end of year. And only you will know that. And it'll be different from one salon to the next. One person listening right now could go, oh my God, I could never in a million years close on a Saturday, because that is my true bread and butter. That is the true, you know, blood flowing into my business. That is a true stock right there. Whereas other salon owners could listen and go, actually, come to think of it, Saturdays is a bit wishy-washy. And that was me. I mean, I was open 7 days a week, a bit of a unique salon strategy back in the day, because I also had 2 sunbeds. So I was a sunbed studio 7 days a week. And on Sundays, we were only sunbeds. And I didn't work the Saturday or the Sunday. And I successfully ran a 7-day window, 7-day salon. But I just wonder if we were to give even the conversation or the opportunity, or even just to explore how it would feel or what it would mean to our client, to our staff, to our teams, if we said, okay, we are going to try and not open on the weekend. It will mean, however, you may have to extend your hours in the week. I just wonder what that would do to their work-life balance. I just wonder. I'm intrigued. I wonder what it would do to our staff retention. And also going back to what Denise said with our clients, I feel like we train our clients anyway. I really do. Like, I know, you know, it has got to be about the clients, absolutely. But, you know, I have my accountant. We all have our accountants. We all have our dentists. We all have our doctors. They don't open on a Saturday. They're of a professional sector. I believe we are of a professional sector like they are. Okay, we may not have the same letters after our names, but we have to learn every single bone and muscle of the body, just like our doctors and dentists do. You know, we need to know the numbers just like our accountants do. And if that is not our area of expertise, we know we outsource, or we pay them. We stay in our own zone of genius. But I don't know. I just think if we were to at least broach the subject to our clients using, you know, there's so many free tools out there, the sticker tray on Instagram stories, doing lives and sending it to specific customers that you really value their opinion, doing polls, you know, doing surveys with free survey apps. And actually, if you find that most of them can adapt, I think it would be quite exciting, especially with what we've gone through in the last 2 years. I think it'd be quite exciting to not be the salon that opens. I would even run a whole campaign about it. We don't do Saturdays, you know, or something like that, and really position ourselves. And I think our I keep saying customers, our staff, I think they may work better. I think they might have a better job satisfaction. I think their productivity levels would go higher. I think they'd be more loyal to the business. I don't know. That is just what I think. But like I say, it's just little old me. And I see there are 3 hands up. So let's look who have we got here. Let's bring up Brenda, then Kirsty, then Nina. So we have, how do I do this again? Invite to speak. There we go. Okay, so we've got Brenda coming up. Hi, Brenda. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
What would you like to add?
Oh wow, I've got so much to say. Listening to you, look. I'm the old head here. I've been open 32 years this year.
That's
So I've
really,
had my
what an
salon a long
achievement.
time. But to be honest, I will say after 20 years, I was always looking to close it down. My shop is doing very well. So that's not the problem. The problem is staffing, like we all know. But think about this. Salons are on the high street or I'm on a parade of maybe seven salons. Not seven salons, seven shops. Now, if it's how you're viewed, if you're doing hairdressing and you're doing it from home, yeah, fair enough, don't work on Saturdays. But if you've got a salon on a high street or on a parade of a shop, how does it look seeing you closed on a Saturday? It won't look good. It's not a good look.
I
So
agree with that. I do agree with that.
right. So I open my shop now 4 days a week. Now I open Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I've been told that salon doesn't open much. But that's because they just don't see me open on the Mondays and the Wednesday. Far less if I don't open on a Saturday. Now, what I do on a Saturday is open 9:30 and I finish at 3. Because if I want to go out or the girls want to go out, we might do each other's hair and then leave early and go home. But I make it that we can make a lot of money between 9:30 and 3. If you feel you don't want to open up a salon or work on a Saturday as a hairdresser, you shouldn't have a shop front. Because on a parade, it just looked odd seeing that shop closed on a Saturday. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Sorry, I'm in the back trying to figure out how
Ye-
to put Kirsty on a mute.
Yes, all right.
Sorry,
But
Kirsty,
yeah,
you've got some interference coming through. I don't know how to do
yeah.
it. If
So
you don't,
then, sorry. So what I think you should do then is if you don't want to work on a Saturday, have one of the staff like take turns. That the shop's not fully manned on a Saturday maybe, or like I've done, cut the hours down. But I think if you're gonna don't do Saturdays and just open in the week. I don't think I don't know. That's how I feel.
yeah, no, it's valuable. It's valuable.
Mm.
It's a valuable opinion. Like I said, this is why I was very cautious, and I've said 3 times already. It's just my opinion. It's not a right or a
But
wrong.
remember, yeah, but
And
it's
I think
okay.
location
Yeah,
does definitely come into this one.
yeah.
I was really coming from the headspace of loads of salons are struggling to find staff and the right staff. And we know, I've been employing since I was 19. I know what goes into employing people and training them up. We put our heart and soul into it because they are basically representing our business. So I was thinking about if salons were to shut, not only from a marketing perspective, would it totally change their positioning to a point of difference to salons at the moment, which can be quite hard to give yourself a point of difference if you're in a busy
Mm.
area. For you though, Brenda, quite right, like you said, if it's a busy shopping area and people go past the salon, and people are a bit thick, let's just say that some people are thick and they'll go past, and like you've just said, that you're only closed 2 days a week, and it could be the vibe that, oh my god, that salon's always closed. Well, no, I'm open more than I'm closed, hon. But but you know what I mean. So I do know people do have that mentality as well. I wonder whether it's very much down to location. Like I keep saying, for me, I was just thinking more about the I don't want to use the mental health word, but I was thinking more about the work life balance of staff. And if, because I know when staff pull sickies, I know if they're going to ask for days off. When is it going to be? It's more than likely the Saturday. And I know, going from my own personal experience, when I owned my beauty salon for almost 10 years, Saturdays actually were not my busiest days. They were often the days as well that we got the no shows, especially if the weather was half decent, because people don't know when the next bit of decent weather is going to come in England. I definitely found my pound stars, which is what we call our ideal clients and dream clients in my world. We call them pound stars. And I know my pound stars, when I had my salon, were always straight from work. But they were the perfect customers for me because they were in a secure job. They knew their worth. They knew they wanted to look a certain way for their work, for themselves. They had the money. They returned every month. That was good for me. I knew I was running a secure, predictable business. So yeah, it's very, very, very down to each and every business setup and model, I'd say. So yeah, thanks, Brenda.
No problem.
Thank you. So let's speak to Kirsty. Hi, Kirsty. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thanks for coming up. What's your stance on this?
Well, this is actually something that I introduced when we came back after Christmas, and I have closed on Saturdays, and it's been one of the best things I've done.
Oh my God, you are meant to be in this room. Oh my God, I'm so interested to know. Right, tell us all.
Well, I've only got a small team. I've lost, I don't do hair, I do the beauty side. I've got another beauty therapist. I lost 2 hairdressers in the lockdown, and also had to buy out a business partner. So I've been in a very deep, muddy puddle.
Isn't that how we grow, though? Isn't that how we grow? We just grow through it all.
And my girls always had 2 Saturdays off a month anyway, so they had a good work-life balance. And I sat down and had a meeting with them about November and put it to them, and also questioned some of my clients that I knew were getting reluctant to come in on Saturdays. So I said, right, let's go for it. So we've shut on Saturdays, and we've introduced 2 late nights, and we are busier now with fully booked days than gappy ones. So it's worked a treat for us.
Oops, sorry, meant to unmic there. So, have you been in the room since the beginning?
Yeah.
Right, cool. Because I was just saying how, obviously going back to Brenda's positioning of her salon, I do think location is definitely something to consider. Again, an area I didn't consider until Brenda mentioned it. So very, very valid point. But do you agree when I said with our clients, I think we just got to train them. I feel like if I wanted to go to my hairdresser and she turned around to me and said, I'm really sorry, Layla, we've got a new initiative. And it's okay to say we're just trying these things out as well, right? We could imagine she turns to me and says, sorry, Layla, we're just trying a new initiative. We've all been through a bit of a shit show for the last 2 years. We now close on Saturdays. I know that if I respected her enough and if I was happy enough with the results she gives me, I would damn well find a day in the week to make sure I can make it happen. And also, I genuinely want to support her business in her decision. So I think it really comes down to training our staff, just like our clients, just like what I said, our accountants. We've heard the saying so many times, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. And I know that we don't do 9 to 5, but Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Well, if we want to get in with our accountants, I can't see my accountant on the weekend, nor would I want to because that's my weekend. If I want to see my dentist or my doctor, and I think we should be elevated into those professional, services. But Kirsty, tell us more. So, are your staff happy? What was their feedback?
The staff were absolutely buzzing, and they come back. So they now have a 3-day weekend. So I've only got the salon open 4 days a week, which people might think, my God, she's crazy. But actually, I sat down and did some number crunching, and it wasn't financially worth me opening on a Saturday. I've got a salon over 3 floors. So I'm in a big Victorian building. I've got an office manager. So I've got a lot of wages going out. But I sat down and did some number crunching, and it actually works out better for me to be closed on a Saturday. Now, my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we are open until 9 o'clock if they want us to be. And I have to say, since doing it, we haven't got gappy days. Our days are rammed. Fridays, we finish at 4 o'clock.
Love it. I just think this is the way to keep hold of our staff right now, where everyone's thinking, I can do this. And what our lovely staff don't realise when they leave to go and do it alone. And like I said a minute ago, good on them. Everyone has the right to try these things. But what they don't realise when we decide we're going to open our own salon is that we've gone and got ourselves a second job. I know you've heard me say this before, guys. We've got to learn how to do the books, how to work the socials, we've got to find the time for stock taking. So in one way, are they earning more money? Because I think obviously money is a driver for a lot of people to leave salons, but it also could be, like I say, that work-life balance, knowing what we've gone through, and that people are just not prepared to be so controlled anymore, and which is why everyone's kind of, you know, having a go at it themselves. And I just think this would be a very, very powerful way to retain our staff, not lose the right clients, train our clients. And like I said before, and Kirsty, you've just, you know, said it because you're doing it, opening the hours in the week to be more flexible, so longer days. But I tell you now, if I was to open a salon again, I wouldn't be opening on the weekend. I wouldn't. I'd be doing exactly what you're doing, Kirsty. But like I said, and I'll say it for the 4th or 5th time now, is it? That is just our opinion, and there is no right or wrong. It really comes down to your own business. So thank you, Kirsty.
Can I just add as well, our clients have received it wholeheartedly and they are absolutely over the moon with it as well. So don't be scared to do it.
Yeah, love that. And going back to what Sarah said as well, you know, when she considered, or I think you said your business partner considered opening on the Sunday, and your brain straight away went, hell no, that's my Sunday. If something happens or something goes wrong, if our CRM system crashes, if our booking system crashes, if something happens, I'm the person to have to go in and deal with that. And so I feel the same with the Saturday. I really do. You would have your whole weekend, which is, if we actually strip back to the very reason why we went self-employed, it's so that we can be more time rich. It's not just about the money. I mean, I love money. I know you guys know I talk about money a lot because it's a vehicle to get us to the second home, the second holiday, the whatever it is that you want, whatever is the reason that whatever job you saw initially advertised and you thought, no, I want more, and you deserve more, there's a reason why you went self-employed. Time has got to be right at the top of that list. And so now, by having a business that is open in the week, attracting the right client, those pound stars, respecting your decisions, retaining your staff, for me, I just see it as so many wins. Let's go over to the lovely Nina. Hey Nina, how are you?
Morning, ladies. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you driving?
I'm driving. I'm on hands-free. But yeah, I'm
Obviously.
driving, so the signal might go a bit in and out.
That's all right. What do you think?
I just wanted to say hi to a new member in the room, my friend Jeanette that I used to work with years ago. Hi, Jeanette. She's just joined Clubhouse, so I just wanted to say hi to her in the room. She's a lovely girl, so I'm sure she'll be following this on every Monday.
Hi, Jeanette. Welcome to the Beauty Boss Club.
I agree with Brenda. My salon is around lots of other shops. We've got big jewellers opposite us, and they're really busy. We've got butchers on the right next door, and they're open on a Saturday. And I think personally for me, it would be a bit odd if I wasn't open on a Saturday. And it is actually quite a busy day for me. I do have a lot of clients that do work full time. They can only come in, some of them can only come in evenings and weekends. But since having my son, I had worked every Saturday being a beauty therapist. But since having my son, I work every other Saturday, and the therapists that I've had have always worked alternate Saturdays so that at least they do have every other Saturday off as well. So that works really well. So that's how I work it.
Yeah, I hear you, and I know you're about your salon. Of course I do, and I know your positioning, and I hear why you would be very nervous about closing on a Saturday. Oh, here's another thing, guys. I totally forgot to tell you this. So obviously, as you know, I've got 3 beauty companies, haven't I? And one of them is a distribution business, 15 and a half years old. And as part of that business, I buy data, I buy statistics, because it helps me decide what brands to bring to the market, helps me forecasting. I like to see trends from the UK market to other markets around the world, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, amongst one of those surveys, here is an interesting piece of data for you. Salons that retail, and we all know how vital retail is. We know, and I'll say it again for those of you that haven't heard this before, we make 7 times more money when we retail skincare to actually performing the treatment. We make 5 times more money in nail care versus sitting behind the nail desk. So I just want to remind you guys of that. And for those of you in the room for the first time, I'm just sharing some stats with you there. Retail is a huge profit center, my accountant would call it, for one of my businesses. I don't retail to consumers, I serve and I supply salons, but kind of the same thing. Retail is so incredibly vital to your business right now, especially with what we've gone through. You can have customers come and buy from you, whether you are open or closed. You can have customers come and buy retail products from you if they don't feel like having their treatments, or they're just, you know, not in the mood for the treatment, but they know they need the product. It really helps you, you know, deliver at 100% the transformation and the deep serving that you're giving them, not 50%, because they've got to, you know, do their part of the bargain too. Take the retail, take the home care, and do their part at home. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, retail. Salons make less money through retailing opportunities on a Saturday more than any other day. That is a really powerful statistic to me. I don't know why. We don't get given the whys. I just buy the reports. But my mind, I wonder, and again, this is me with my little mind, and it might be someone else come up here and say, actually, I find it my busiest, but statistics. So statistics that I buy where salons obviously enter their, you know, metrics and information and stuff about the runnings of their salons. Saturdays are the least busiest days where you make money as a salon owner in retailing your goods. Now, could that be? Well, I don't know. Could that be because people are in weekend mode, like psychologically? Could it just be that they're coming in more of a wind down, not so much of a, I don't know what the words are. I want to say homework but that's not the right words, because doing skincare isn't homework. We're trying to build that into their daily habits and part of their lifestyle, to help them with their problems. But I just thought I'd share that with you. That's a really, really interesting statistic. We make less money in retail on a Saturday as a salon than any other day. So, okay, who else have we got here? Hannah. Nice to see you in here, Hannah.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning, thanks for having me on. Layla, just to answer just your point before about retail, I mean, certainly on a personal note, we're still that busy on a Saturday, and even I'm a hairdresser, I have a hair salon business, and then I have treatment rooms that I rent out to self-employed specialists that aren't my specialism. So I certainly, for me personally, on a Saturday, I definitely sell less retail on a Saturday, but that's because I'm literally, we're so busy, which is fantastic, but I forget to mention what I'm using, in all honesty. And I know that's like the ultimate fail in terms of salon owner, but that's definitely my reason for that anyway.
Well, it's good that you're so busy with your services, but like I said, in fact, let me just press on you quickly and see what type of, well, you can just tell us. Oh, you're a hairstylist, right?
Yeah, so I'm a hairstylist. We're in a we're not on a high street. We're actually on a working farm, so very unique location. But the working farm is also a wedding venue, and we're sort of really good transport links between Milton Keynes and Northampton. So you know, it's very much a destination salon. You sit at your you know, our salon. So sorry, I just ran up the stairs quick to try and grab my phone. So I'm a little bit out of breath.
Well, and now you're out of breath.
Yeah. And I've got my 3-year-old at home with me, so apologies at some point, she'll probably try and chime in. But yeah, we're very much destination salon. As our clients sit at our salon stations, they can look over, you know, rolling hills. Our mirrors are sort of 45-degree angle to the windows, and very much, so it's a very different vibe. I completely appreciate that to high street. But in terms of opening Saturdays, yes, we do open Saturdays. But we're very much down to the demographic of our staff. So yes, it's really important to look at our clients, but it's very also equally as important to look at what our staff needs are. Now there's 5 of us actually stylists, I say, and then I've got other treatment rooms that open out. We're open 6 days a week. We are open on a Sunday, but actually I have someone go in who just purely rents a room from me, completely self-employed. So in terms of like CRM and things, they don't use anything that I'm responsible for. Keep in mind, obviously our line's very, very separate in terms of self-employment. And the only thing I'd get a call for really is if we had kind of a flood or an electrical failing on a Sunday, which I'd get a call for anyway, whether we were open or not. So that's kind of how I work it. And I know myself, I've got 3 children who are 7 and under. So for me, it doesn't suit me to work full time during the week. So I work 4 days, 4 long days, and then we have other staff, and it's very much what works for them, but also works for the clients. And we then end up with very happy staff. We've got a couple of staff that do every other Saturday. 2 of it, one doesn't work a Saturday, and I do alternate Saturdays, but I do a long Saturday, so I start at 8, finish about 8. But that suits me because I then make my days count, and then I'm very much full-time mum when I'm at home as well. So I just wanted to chime in there really, because it does suit some staff to only work office hours, but there are lots still in our industry that are in our industry because they want the balance if they've got, you know, young children or certainly caregivers now and things. Yeah, so that's me. I'm done.
Oh, Hannah, that was great. And again, yeah, absolutely. Exactly. I think this room topic is kind of surfaced for me because, I mean, I think it might have come, I don't know if that it's got better or whether it's a fact that people have just stopped talking about it because it's just been going on for so long now. But this whole, and again, Sarah might be able to enlighten us perhaps with this, where there has been such a shortage for Salon. So for me, I just thought, if I was a salon owner now, what would I do to hold on to my staff and not lose good customers along, you know, clients along the way? I see Sarah's unflashing here. What do you want to say, Sarah?
I think at the moment, I mean, there's definitely a problem with trying to get people, but I do think there needs to be a different mindset around this. And I think I think a lot of people who were hairstylists over the lockdown that worked in salons, and I might be wrong here, but I think a lot of hairstylists probably did do clients at home when we were all closed. And I'm not saying everyone, so please don't send me any hate, but there's definitely been an element of that. So that has created one problem, whereas those people that worked in our salons have left to start their own businesses because they've realised that they can be more flexible and they can make more money. And that's definitely what's happened. I've had every single member that I had before furloughed have left. I think I've got one person in my training centre that's left. Everybody else has left, so I've got a whole new team. So I've literally had to start again, basically, in my salon as such. But what I will say is that I think as a salon owners, by not actually training up the next generation, and that doesn't necessarily have to be 16 to 18-year-olds. And I think one of the things when the government announced all the grants, that's a great thing, actually. And I'm just writing something about it at the moment, actually, because I wanted to put this into my onboarding process so that when salon owners look at taking on apprentices, they really think about how they're going to do it and whether it's going to be viable for them long term and if they want to put the effort and time into them. But I think we need to remember that there's a lot of older people out there that we could retrain and probably would get on the floor a lot quicker than a young person. And there are things that go against, you know, are more difficult when that happens, because we all think, oh my god, we've got to pay them full wage. Well, apprenticeships, you can pay them the minimum wage, and if they went to college they wouldn't get anything. So you can also have them on less hours if you want to, if it suits your business. I think really to do an apprenticeship there has to be 20 hours or more. Okay, so I do think we need to invest more into new staff that are coming through, and you can get somebody on the floor really quickly. I mean, I've got a salon I know that their apprentice is bringing them in about a hair salon that's bringing them in about £4,000 a month, and they're paying them the lower wage, which is fine at the moment because they're on their first year apprenticeship. So I think it is just a little way of us looking at things differently, and maybe not just going for the 16 to 18s, which we've always done in the past. Looking at who's out there who wants to retrain, or because as well as a lot of our stylists and therapists leaving, there's a lot of people out there that were in other jobs that actually have now decided that I don't want to do that job anymore. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to go back to that job that I was doing before. And hair and beauty are great because they want to be more flexible. I think also we have to remember that our industry is very much about people training up, building a clientele, and a lot of people will leave long term to start their own business, but that's not everybody. So how can we alleviate that? That's probably then, see, in my salon, what I've done, which I think really works, when you do it well. And this, and being fair, you know, we only opened our new salon back in March 2020 when we just went into lockdown. So I'm still at the very early stages of building this salon up. So for me, what I used to do in my salons before was everybody who did the training or the mentors within the salon, once that apprentice was at a good you know, quality, they would act, and they were with their own clientele, they would get a percentage of whatever that person, you know, is bringing in, the new person they've trained. So that gives them more of an initiative to stay with you, because if they go to the salon down the road or they start up on their own, then basically long term wise they're going to lose that income. So that's some of the things you can do. But I do think it is definitely having a very different mindset about how we work with our staff, much more flexible. I think, again, maybe paying them more, which I know is really difficult at the moment, because I think everyone's in the same boat. They need to be bringing in an income, and they also need to be making sure that they're bringing in a profit. And I think one of the things that we tend to do, when I've worked with hairstylists and therapists, I think we've got to remember what motivates them is being a fantastic hairdresser or being a fantastic therapist. It's not figures. And I think we can get very, very caught up in how many people are coming through the door. But I think if they don't know the drivers of what that is going to take them, so like for instance, selling home care is going to make them a fantastic hairdresser or beauty therapist or nail tech, and also the other thing that we need to remember as well is they need to learn how to market themselves. So I think it very much is, and I know I'm a training provider, and I know people will be going, oh, you're already saying that because you're a training provider, but I actually became a training provider because I use these systems in my own salons, because when I was getting girls from colleges, and I hope, please don't take this the wrong way, but I did used to find that it used to take me the same amount of time as getting an apprentice on the floor as taking someone from a college. So for me, it was much easier to invest in maybe a brand new person and them take them all through my systems. And that has not just worked in my salon, it's also worked in my training business. Every time I take on someone who's fully qualified, who doesn't use my systems, we always have problems because they're trained differently to how I want them to train as such. And I find it very difficult sometimes, especially in our sector, to sort of like get that on. So I think, yes, opening Saturdays is closing Saturdays is great for some people, but I think you've just got to, I don't think it is for everybody. So I think we need to really look at everybody individually, every salon individually, every person that works for you individually, and then find, like Denise said earlier, you'll attract the staff that want to come and work for you on those days. But unless you've got that vision right up front, in other words, what you want to achieve. So it's about what you want to achieve long term and whether people will stay with you. And I think we have to invest heavily in actually training new people all the time, but we need to have some kind of training program that there's always a new person coming in, so that when that person leaves, whether it's your superstar or whatever, there's somebody to replace them. And as a salon owners, we really need to get, like you said, take maybe a day, a week, where we need to look at how we can do that, and the drivers that make that happen, which for me is always average order, how many clients they have coming to them, and also the last one is how often they come in to the salon, the client. Then you can make a massive difference by just focusing on those three things, and then giving them the skills that will be able to get them making money quickly. Even if it's your top stylist now has an assistant that will do all the shampooing and the conditioning for them, so they can get more clients through the door, so that they can earn more money. So that's my personal view. I'd be really interested to know what anybody else in the audience feel, because that's how I feel. But yeah, I'm going to be quiet now.
Layla, sorry to interrupt. I know Louise is waiting, but Sarah, I just wanted to add in there. So I did my apprenticeship when I was 25, so I'm still the oldest apprentice that I've ever come across. I was an HR business partner, worked in the motor industry, very senior job, really great, very good salary. But I was really unhappy. And it was at a time when me and my husband had bought our first house. It was before we had children, as my 3-year-old now starts shouting for me. it was a case of I didn't want my boss's job, and if I was going to make a change, I needed to do it then. And I struggled to get an apprenticeship because I not only have I was like 25, but also I got a degree which the funding was a bit not able to at the time. That's now 13 years ago. But I found a salon that just recently taken on other staff from another salon. So they took me on as a HR, very, very cheap HR consultant, basically. But I did my apprenticeship with them on the shop floor, but I qualified in 10 months, which at the time was the minimum, and was then earning for them mega money. So basically on very minimum wage. And obviously I had corporate experience in other fields, so I didn't kind of have to have the life skill training. So that was kind of as a sort of an incentive for other people. Definitely don't discount older people, because for me this is definitely my life vocation. Like, I'm definitely not changing jobs now, and it was a massive decision to come into the industry. So my commitment certainly is there, and I know like people who change at later ages, I think it's probably the same thing.
Oh, I love that
Thanks,
you just
Hannah.
added. Yeah, Hannah.
Hannah,
That
I'd
was
love
really.
to interview you at some point and have you on my Facebook Live.
Absolutely, Sarah. I've now got a child on my hip, so I'm going to mute myself. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to message you because I think people need to hear your story, because I think it is so, because I was 38 when I got back into the industry, so I know exactly where she's coming from, and that's what I'm trying to say. And we need to change who we're looking for long term, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. There was Hannah there dropping some valuable information whilst you were being hair boss and mum boss at the same time. Do you know what? Very, very valid point there about the whole age thing, because you're quite right. Just a couple of months ago, we had a new lash technician in our salon. I say our salon, I supply it, but it's my family, it's my sisters and my brothers. Now here's an interesting dynamic. So my brother and sister both joint, funds together and opened their salon. Neither of them work in there. Both of them are employed by me and have been, one for 5-6 years, another one for 15 years, 14 years, something like that. But I supply it. My sister goes and trains the staff because she's one of my employed trainers. And my brother picks and packs in my warehouse, but he does all like the maintenance. So it's a really, really good setup. Anyway, so I pop in there a couple of months ago for some reason or another, a treatment, and I was like, oh, where's such and such? And this young lash technician had already come and gone. And they just said to me, oh, she said, oh, lashes aren't for her. And this is what happens with, again, nothing wrong with this. Everyone's got the right to go, actually, this is not my calling. I'm going to bow out right now. But that happens less likely when we do hit, I don't know, our 30s, 40s. Is it because, we've kind of tried other industries? Is it because by that age, generally speaking, we are, we're mums, we've got houses to run, we've got mortgages to pay, we've got cars to run, we're not living at home with mum and dad where we can just go, not for me, next. I don't know. So really, really interesting.
Layla, can I just jump in? I think it's because people are more committed. And I think because they have gone out, and I mean, I know, I'm sure, and Hannah will probably agree with this, but I know as a young child, I was put off coming into the industry by my grandparents because I had a Saturday job. I worked in a salon right up to the age of 16, 17, and I absolutely loved it. But my grandparents said to me, oh, you'll never make money and you need to go into this. In fact, they got me to go into nursing, which I absolutely did 1 year and hated it. So I came out of it, and then I trailed around for ages looking for something. And it wasn't until I was 38 that I actually made the decision, I'm really unhappy and I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. It actually set me up, I have to say, because I actually built businesses before that. Does that make sense? Through my marketing, I did a lot in the background. So when I did go into my salon, I really did know quite a lot about running business. And I think that is definitely a key to making sure that your business is going to work. But I actually learned how to do my skills at that age, at 38. So I think the thing is, it's very, and there wasn't apprenticeships at the time. I was in the beauty and nail industry, and there wasn't any. So that's why I got into the training academy, basically. And then from there, it just went mad with nails, beauty, hair. And now I've built a program that goes right up to level 5 management. So for me, that's what I'm trying to say. It's very easy to think that older people will not be engaged, but they will, because I was that person, the same as Hannah. I was totally on the same flow as her. And I think it's really important that we need to understand that young people nowadays are quite unmotivated at the moment, if I'm totally honest. What I've found since the lockdown, don't forget they've been shut for nearly 2 years and not really had to do very much, sitting from home, which has created a massive problem within the industry, worse than what it ever was before. And I'm not writing off all young people, because there are still people out there, but they don't really know what they want at that age. So to come sometimes into a beauty salon, and this is where I get apprenticeships get a really bad name, and is because what happens is they don't know what they want to do. And I think what happens, we put all our time and effort into them, then they up and leave. Now, I'm not saying that we need to write off young people, because there are a lot out there that are fine, okay? But what I'm saying is that I think as an industry, we need to look very differently about, firstly, how we recruit, and knowing how to recruit properly, which I think a lot of people don't really know. I mean, the amount of times I've spoken to salon owners and they said, I've had a girl in, and she's done this morning with me, and yeah, I'm going to take her on. No, you know, like I was, Layla, I don't know about you, but I know when I take people on now, it's a very thorough recruitment process. Every time I've diverted from that, and I did it recently again, it's because of time, which is what we all get caught up in. The shit hits the fan. Do you know what I mean? Something goes wrong. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's very important that firstly you know how to recruit, and you know who to recruit, and what to do and how to do it. And the second thing you need to do is really not find out if that person has got passion. And we recruit on the wrong things, just because people not everyone wants money. I mean, I sat down with one of my girls the other day, who we're going to actually put her through to become our training manager, okay? And I said to her, what these out of these 4 things, if you were to tell me what would drive you as a person, the first one is development, as in training, etc. The next one was recognition. The next one was money, and the fourth one was basically doing a job really well, because I think they are the 4 drivers that normally drive people. Now, the top one for her was doing a job well. The second one was training. The third one was money, and the fourth one was what did I say? God, I forgot where I was there. But the fourth one was recognition. And I knew then, as soon as I spoke to her, you are perfect for the training manager, because you'll never get loads of money out of being a training manager. There's not loads of money in it compared to working in a salon as a really busy stylist. But she's a good stylist, and she earns good money. But that's what she wanted to do. So I think what we need to really understand is what drives people, and I think a lot of people don't know that. The reason I know it so well is probably because I've been in sales and marketing. So I know exactly what different people need and want. Do you know what I mean? As in, I know what drives me. Now, if you had that same question to me, definitely recognition is one of it, which I get, which drives me. Money drives me. So I'm a different person to that person, but we're all different. And I think it's very, very
So here's what I think we're going to do.
Okay.
I think we're going to schedule. I'm going to jot this down before we have Louise speak, and then we've gone over time, but it's okay, because it's a great room, and I don't ever want to shut down a room when people are finding it valuable, and it's a great room. But here's what we're going to do, Sarah. I'm going to schedule 2 more rooms. One about the age element of younger isn't necessarily always better, and I'm dipped in both those camps, actually, across my company, so I can definitely speak from both parties. And the other room we'll do is about onboarding. Now, the term onboarding that you've probably heard Sarah use comes from a very office corporate-y world, or a very digital technology world. It's not really a word that we've used in the beauty industry. until we started creating digital assets. And I'll stop there with the techie talk. I know we're very familiar with things like trade tests and things like that. And like Sarah said, there's some people that'll do one trade test and be like, that's it, you're in. And that's us coming in from a chaotic place, you know, getting to that busy state where you're busy. So you just want someone in. So you don't, maybe you think you're going to lose customers. Maybe you just want to take some time out and whatever. So I definitely think there's two rooms there to talk about: the age aspect of of recruiting, and the onboarding process, and what typically, again, there's no right or wrong, but going through our own experiences, what we would suggest or what we do. And we would love to hear from everyone else in the room what you do when you on board, when you recruit, when you are bringing in a new person into your business. So let's hear from the lovely Louise. Thanks for hanging fire there, Louise, and thanks for waiting. What is it you would like to share?
Hi, good morning, everybody. Yeah, do you know what? I think it's when I came across the topic of this room the other day, and I thought, do you know what? I need to get in that room, because I think as an industry, I mean, 32 years I've been hairdressing now when I started my career, and 12 years I've had my own salon. And, you know, I think for a majority of those years that I've been hairdressing, I haven't seen many changes within our industry in terms of the way in which most salons, not how they're run individually, but just the industry as a whole, and the way that it's been perceived, and, you know, what's expected of our industry in terms of our hours and everything that we work. And obviously COVID's had a massive impact on that. And I've made massive changes in my business during that time when we were locked down, you know, in terms of setting up my online shop, you know, and selling retail at a time when we couldn't open our salon doors, to changing my pricing structure. You know, we charge by the hour, we don't charge by service now. And I think, you know, in order for us to grow as an industry, you know, whether it's hair or beauty, you know, you have got to start thinking a little bit outside the box. And like you said earlier, it's getting ideas from your clients and what works for them as well. Now, Saturdays are not a busy day for us in the salon. I adjusted my hours yet again, going back from lockdown, because we had the restricted hours, et cetera, and how many clients we could do. And we used to do 6 days a week, but we were only doing 6-hour days, and we did 3 late nights, and we restructured all that. And it gave us an opportunity to look at what worked, what did clients want, and we fell in with what worked for my team as well. And, you know, I've got to be honest, over the years, I've lost probably 3 or 4 amazing stylists, absolutely amazing stylists that were homegrown, that, you know, I brought in from Saturday Girls, that didn't know what they wanted to do as a career, that fell into the love of hairdressing and the creativity of it. And I got 5 solid years. I brought them right the way through the ranks. They worked so hard, right the way up to top level, and they left to do a different career, because they didn't want to work late nights and they didn't want to work Saturdays, and they wanted more money. And I think, you know, sometimes as
That
a
was just a big
salon owner,
ouch.
yeah, no, but as a salon owner, it's like hitting your head against a brick wall, you know, and you want to pay them more money, but then the industry is seen as you can't charge X, Y, and Z, you know, yet, you know, it's okay for you to take your car to a garage and them charge you, you know, £100 an hour for them to put their head under the bonnet, and you don't even know what skill level they've got, you know. And, you know, it's so important that, you know, we try and change and adapt our businesses. Now, you know, I'm in Buckinghamshire, and during the lockdown, there's 12 of us local salon owners, all got to know each other really well. We set up a WhatsApp group, we supported each other, sharing ideas. And you know what? There's 8 of us that speak every single day on this group. But you know what? A majority of them are still doing the same thing and aren't changing anything about their business. And you know what? I loved I think it was Kirsty, I don't think she's in the room now, what she said earlier about not opening on a Saturday. Well, we do 8 o'clock until 2:30. We had a massive colour job, yet again, not turn up. Well, we're all starting to feel the pinch of the whole COVID reasons for cancelling appointments last minute, you know. And you can do as much as you can in terms of, you know, taking deposits. And, you know, we ask for 48 hours notice, but it still don't happen. And because it's COVID, we're nice. Okay, we'll let you move your appointment. But you know what? Saturdays is not our busiest day. And, you know, I just put it out to, funnily enough, my daughter works for me. She started hairdressing. I think she was nearly 20. She was going to pursue a different career and then said, Mum, I want to do hairdressing. Now, boy, did I try and talk her out of that one. But she is so creative. She is my biggest earner. She is my biggest income producer. And I just messaged her while we were in this room and said to her, how would you feel as a stylist if you didn't work a Saturday? She went, why would you even do that? Well, you know, it's our busiest day of the week. And do you know what? It's not. In her eyes, it is, because she is extremely busy. She is booked up every Saturday.
Do you know what we call that, Louise, in my world? Labour. She is in labour.
Yeah.
Being in labour is not the same as being profitable. So,
Yeah.
sorry, carry on.
Yeah, but you're right. She's fully booked up like every Saturday until about April. You know, her clients have to book their next 2 appointments, you know, to guarantee they can get in with her. A majority of her gents will book every 4 weeks, 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning for the next 2 years. You know, because she's built her column, she's earning good money. But I think, do you know what? I am struggling to get team members. I lost one recently. Best thing that ever happened to my business, to be honest, in terms of personality. But you know, it is hard to recruit because they don't want to work the late nights or they don't want to work the Saturdays. And the funny thing is, when they want the employed job where they get the holidays, where they can get the security, etc., is one thing, but they don't want to do the late nights and the Saturdays. But I guarantee you, for those that I may have lost, well, actually I haven't, I've only lost one to go mobile. It's funny how they will do every hour after school, in the evening, Saturdays and Sundays, because the money's going straight in their pocket. Because their mindset is completely different, because it's no longer working for somebody else, it's working for themselves. So I'm really interested in this conversation, and you know, specifically hearing from salons that maybe don't open up on a Saturday, that it is working for them. But it's definitely something I'm going to start punching my numbers together and see what the outcome could potentially be for me. Because if my team would be happier doing 3 late nights and having their weekends to themselves, I'm all up for that.
Thank you, Louise. Yeah, I'm in your camp. Like I said, for the 10th time now, there's no right or wrong. Very much comes down to the business model and its location and its demographic, and maybe the age, even now the age elements come in by Sarah, maybe the age of our staff, because not everybody wants the Saturday off. Not everyone's a party animal. Saying that, I'm 40 years old, I'm still a party animal. Which is why I probably wouldn't open on the weekend. But yeah, so really, really valuable. Really interested to hear from you, Louise, if you do go down that route, because you know, this is the year where the business, we're in recovery. This entire year is our recovery year. This is the year that the bridal market is going to absolutely boom, because they've not been allowed to get married for the last 2 years. And we all know everyone comes to us, whether they go to salons or not. They are now coming into hair and beauty salons for all their transformations for their big day. And so we're going to have a boom. But at the same time, we've got other things going on. People aren't allowed to travel, or people still aren't comfortable to travel, even if they're vaccinated and they're allowed. So there's going to be people that are going to be really more pickier with their holiday leave, wanting to travel around the UK. You might find your holiday leave from your staff members, you know, maybe they're a bit more organised this year about those sort of things. We've got an extra bank holiday coming because of the Queen's Jubilee. You know, it's quite a significant year. This is quite an important year for business. And you know, before I close the room out, again, just my little opinion, if I was to open a salon again, I wouldn't be open on a weekend, and I would market the hell out of that. I'd attract the right customers and clients to my business. I'd attract, I believe, the right staff to my business. I believe their productivity would be higher. I think their job satisfaction would be higher. I think they'd be more loyal. I think they'd stay longer. I think we would position ourselves different and unique to all the other salons. But again, going back to what Nina and Brenda said earlier in the room, it just so happens their salon location, they're in a busy high street and a shopping mall. It would look a bit weird for me. I would still go with that. And I will just let you know one thing. I was the salon owner for almost 10 years that did open 7 days a week, but I didn't work in that place 7 days a week. You must be joking. I was there to make money, to move on to my next big plans. But I had 4 treatment rooms at the back. So I'll just let you just vision this for a minute. So Layla's Unisex Beauty Salon. It had 3 nail desks in the windows, purposely in the windows, 3 huge windows at the front. Then I had 2 stand-up sunbeds to the right-hand side of the building, which went down the building, you know, down the length of the building. One eventually I replaced with a spray tan unit when spray tan market hit the UK, and I had 4 treatment rooms at the back. Now my treatment rooms are very busy, so is my nails, but my treatment rooms were where the money was at for us, not the nails. Very much like what a lot of nail professionals are seeing now, which is why they're dipping their toes into, aesthetics and looking at other, areas to bring in money. But my treatment rooms were fully booked all the time, not my nails. So you could go past my salon and be like, they look dead, or they look quiet if there was only, say, one nail desk in operation. But let me tell you something, I didn't give a shit. I didn't care, because what I knew, because I was running that business with the numbers in mind, and I was running it from a place of intelligence and not a place of emotion and worrying about what it looks like in the window. Now, of course, there is an element of that because it is your window. You are going to have people walking past and driving past and looking in with their first impressions. But I knew, obviously, because it's my business. I had 4 fully booked rooms at all times, making money in the back. No one could see that. So we do have to get to that real confident place in our own self-worth, in our own plan, our own game of what we're doing with all of this, to know what we're comfortable with and what we're not comfortable with. If I was a salon in a busy high street, if I was to run those numbers and I knew I would be more profitable and have a happier team, and my customers were okay with it, I would probably, in that busy location, still be shut on a Saturday, because I would definitely let everyone know why I could afford to be shut on a Saturday. But anyway, there we go. An amazing room as always, guys. What I have pinned at the top of this room here is a link to our £10 membership. It's called the Beauty Boss Take Action Club. And I think it was Louise who said that she'd, in the pandemic or in one of the lockdowns, got together with some businesses, locally, created a WhatsApp group. Lots of them are still in that same place because they didn't take action. So this is my little way of helping salon owners like you guys really implement. So the information I share for just £10 a month is bite size. It's more about you, less about me, and it's really there just to help you move the needle and for you to take action. If you've got any questions about that, just send me a message in the back channel. And in the meantime, just a very, very quick ask, if it's okay for you guys up here in the audience, in the top audience panel part. I've just noticed the share button, and I never noticed it before. So if you have found value in this room, I'd love you guys to hit that share button, which is at the bottom of your screen. It's got 2 arrows. You'll see it says arrows, then 1, because I've hit share, and I've just shared it on Clubhouse. I didn't write any description. I just hit share and then okay. And what that does, it's going to let all the other clubbers in our industry, in the hair aesthetics and beauty industry, that are using this app to network with like-minded people, learn from each other, get inspiration from each other, then they will find this room in the hallway. I believe that is what is the point of this share button anyway. So I'd really appreciate a share, and it'd be really nice to get more people on board this amazing app. It is number 1, without a shadow of a doubt, my number 1 favorite app. I know Instagram for your type of business, because you're a transformational type of business with your salons and your services, your go-to place is Instagram. It absolutely has to be. But for me, not being a salon owner anymore, but definitely sharing my knowledge and my 23 years in the industry, this is definitely my little favorite here. So anyway, guys, it's Monday. It's 10:15. Oh my God. Go and boss the rest of your week, and I will see you here again one night this week with a room I haven't scheduled yet. Okay, guys, have the best week. Take care. Lots of love. Thanks, everybody.